At the beginning of 1941, Moscow is the only great European capital not yet at war. Paris, Brussels and Warsaw are occupied, London under bombardment, Berlin mobilized. But in Moscow, spring comes in peacefully. For several months, the atmosphere is relaxed. The great political purge has been achieved, and copies of the third five-year plan fill the bookshops. The Muscovites have begun the new year full of confidence, even though on the other side of Europe, the imperialistic war grinds on. Besides, since the division of Poland and the annexation of the Baltic states, the frontier is a long way off. The Germans are 600 miles from the capital. In case of danger, the Red Army is always there, powerful, doubtless invincible. Anyhow, why should there be danger? Stalin, with some skill, has signed a pact with Hitler, thus saving the peace. On November the 12th, 1940, Molotov, Stalin's right-hand man, arrives in Berlin, welcomed with great ceremony. Hitler proposes dividing up the British Empire, since on all the evidence, England is going to be overwhelmed. Molotov demands explanations. What are the Germans going to do about Romania and Finland? And why is Hitler so concerned with Bulgaria, Turkey and the Balkans? All this is very suspicious. Schmidt, Hitler's interpreter, is worried. No one has ever taken this tone with the Führer. The conference achieves nothing, and Molotov, filled with doubts, returns to Moscow. It's true that apparently nothing has changed. There are strange sights, like that of General Guderian, creator of the German armored forces, reviewing Soviet tanks and thinking of what is to come. Hitler, in fact, pursues his policy of diplomatic encirclement unceasingly in the newly adherent countries, who signed the Anti-Comintern Pact. Defiant Yugoslavia is bombarded and occupied in a few weeks. So is Greece. The links with Spain, Italy, Hungary, Romania and Bulgaria are strengthened. At the Reich Chancellery in Berlin, von Ribbentrop is very busy in the name of the Führer. Signing sessions follow each other in quick succession, more than 10 pacts between 1940 and May 1941. At the other end of the world, a little man is getting ready to leave for Europe. Yosuke Matsuoka, Japan's foreign minister, has meetings arranged with Hitler and Stalin. According to which agreements he signs, one will know on whose side destiny leans. Mr. Matsuoka is accompanied to the railway station by all those Tokyo-based German diplomats. Among them is the ambassador's press attaché, Richard Sorge, Nazi double agent and true communist, Stalin's #1 spy. From Tokyo, Sorge, who signs his messages Ramsay, tells the Kremlin everything. In this text of 25th of March 1941, for example, the German offensive against the USSR will begin in the second half of June. The strongest attack will come from the German left wing. Stalin, although told, doesn't believe it. Meanwhile, Mr. Matsuoka carries on. In Berlin, Hitler sounds him out. What will Japan do if by any chance war breaks out between the Reich and the USSR? Politely, Mr. Matsuoka steals away. 2 days later, on the 13th of April 1941, Matsuoka is in Moscow, where he signs a non-aggression pact between the Soviet Union and Japan. Stalin is delighted. He will not have to make war on 2 fronts. At last, Hitler has made his decision. Since the summer of 1940, he has dreamt of a great campaign, the greatest war of all time. His generals when consulted, has scarcely time to raise objections before Operation Barbarossa takes shape. On June the 22nd, 1941, at 3:30 in the morning, without a declaration of war, the Wehrmacht enters Soviet territory. The assault troops throw footbridges across the river Bug. The frontier posts are taken, the barbed wire cut. At daybreak on June the 22nd, German Stukas bombard the 66 Soviet airfields continuously. The old Rata fighters of the Soviet Air Force try in vain to oppose the Luftwaffe, but they're hopelessly outclassed by the Messerschmitts. By midday on June the 22nd, 1,200 Russian planes have been destroyed, 800 of them on the ground. The Luftwaffe has made certain of air supremacy for several months at least. From Cape North in the Arctic to the Black Sea in the south, 153 German divisions move off to the east, towards Moscow. In front of the panzers, the great plain opens out, thousands of miles of forest, prairie, and small villages, swept by the wind of the Russian steppes. The Soviet army is taken completely by surprise. The frontier troops are alerted only 2 hours before the attack and haven't time to organize themselves. No proper plans have been made in case of invasion. At some points, the Germans meet no resistance at all. At others, resistance is bitter, but to no avail. During the first 24 hours, the German advance guard covers 40 to 60 miles. But the old fortress of Brest-Litovsk on the river Bug is going to give the Wehrmacht a foretaste of what the Russian campaign will eventually become. Several hundred Russian soldiers are trapped, together with some civilians, under the command of a captain and a political commissar. It takes more than a month for 4 German divisions to subdue them. The garrison finally succumbs, but not without leaving a message. We are dying, but not surrendering. Goodbye, my country. In Moscow, it's general mobilization for 15 million Russians. Those on home leave, surprised by the German attack, hastily rejoin their regiments. All the existing units the Soviet command can find are sent promptly to the front with the order to counterattack because the Soviet military doctrine only admits the offensive. But this is not the only drawback they have to face. Obsolete tanks and badly camouflaged columns move up towards the front. But their limited experience of modern warfare is no match for the German techniques. Retreat is inevitable, and little by little, White Russia has to be abandoned to the invader. Stalin intervenes on July the 3rd and gives the order for a scorched earth policy, a terrible admission.
Comrades,